What do you get when you flip a boring bill envelope inside out and dress it up in a vintage flair? A faux airmail masterpiece that looks like it's time traveled straight from 1950 without the postage delays. Today, we're turning modern mail into journal worthy magic. Hi, it's time once again for coffee, crafting, and cats with the Ginger Cat Lady. I'm Pam, and Harley is officially back on quality control duty. Today, we're diving into V is for Vintage Airmail Envelope for the ABC April 2025 Challenge, which is hosted by Margreth at Seven Plaza and Toni at Crafted by Toni. I'm excited to show you how I created this faux vintage airmail envelope using just a recycled security envelope, a few simple supplies, and a little crafty magic. I had originally filmed the whole setup, but in true Ginger Cat Lady fashion, the footage decided to airmail itself into the void. I think Harley might have had something to do with it. That's okay though, because what matters is the process, the creativity, and how you can make something beautiful out of almost anything. So let's jump in and I'll show you exactly how I made it happen. To start with, I have this farmer's insurance envelope that came with our insurance policy when we were signed up with farmers. So what I'm going to do, because it has this blue security marking on the inside and the classic airmail envelope was a blue, and it was kind of a baby bluish color. And the reason that I chose this large of an envelope is because the airmail letters that I'm familiar with was basically like an envelope shape at the top, and then there was the paper that you could write on, and then you folded it up and sealed it, and that was what you sent. So what I'm going to do with this envelope is cut it open, and it's already cut open on two sides here. So let me go ahead and finish opening this up. No, I do not want to cut it on this side. I want to cut it on three sides, but I want to leave this long side with the fold, and you'll see why in a minute. So it's open at the top. It's open on this side, and we're going to open it on this side as well. So hopefully Harley makes an appearance, because when I walked in the door the other day, I was absolutely amazed at how much my kitten has grown. Oh my goodness. I was only gone for 14 days, 15 days, 16 days. I don't remember how long I was gone, but it was only about 2 weeks. And I came back and my kitten has grown and he is no longer just a little baby kitten. My plan here is we're going to get rid of the white, and we don't want to use this part of the envelope. So what we're going to be using is just this section here. I think I can make it work with what we have here, because I need it wide and long. And I think this will give it that extra that I'm looking for. So, I didn't think I was going to need my paper cutter, but yes, you will need your paper cutter, because I do not trust myself to cut this perfectly straight. And after not having my paper cutter for 2 weeks, I did manage, but I really want to use it. It makes life so much easier. So hold on, let me grab the paper cutter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to chop this off at right where that window starts. And we're just going to chop that off right there. Obviously save this because it can be used for other things, right? I don't know if you can see who's back right there. He's drinking my coffee again. Have not missed sharing my coffee, but Harley, come here. Come here, baby. Oh, it's bath time now. It's nice to be back home. It's nice to have my little buddy back. I know that there's some of you that will be happy to see him back as well. I'm not sure that this is going to be helpful, and we don't need to do that on YouTube, honey. That's not okay to do on YouTube. People don't want to see that. No. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right, so I've got this all cut up, and what we're going to do now is I want to keep... No, Harley, you're not going to drink my coffee. Off you go, baby. Thank you. Okay. I need a flap on the side and I need a flap on the top. And both of those flaps are going to be on the same side. What we need to do first is I need to mark about 1/2 inch because I want about a 1/2 inch flap on the side and a 1/2 inch flap on the top. We're going to do it on this side. Okay. So this is going to be the outside of our envelope. And this is going to be the inside of my envelope. And my thoughts were, Harley, no coffee, please. Harley, no coffee. No, sir. All right, moving the coffee. All right, my thoughts were that I was hoping to be able to... Harley. As much as the people love you, this isn't getting Mommy's video done. Come on, Bubba. No. All right, I will be right back. We need to get rid of somebody here. My plan is to hopefully... Yeah, no. Well, maybe I just need to cut it down a little bit. Anyway, I want to use these, and I think I'll cut them so I can kind of make them one bigger piece instead of 2 separate pieces. And use those on the inside, and then maybe put this where those tabs are going to be. So I have never done this before. This is not something that I really know what I'm doing. I'm improvising based on a picture. So, patience, please. Patience with the kitten, too. All right. So, do I want the paper to go this way? Let's find my ruler. We are at 11 1/4 by probably close to the same thing. By about 10 3/8. Please do not chew on the cord. By 10 3/8. So, let's use the narrower side. We're going to make the top this way. Let's take the 1/2 inch. Let's figure out our 1/2 inch, and then we will go from there. Okay, 1/2 inch. I want it on this side. I'm not going to trust myself to measure. I'm just going to flip it around so I can find 1/2 inch easily, because I should have been born somewhere and grew up somewhere where they used a metric system, because our system here in the States confuses me. Okay, so I'm going to make a mark over here for S so that I know this is my side, because otherwise I'm going to get very confused. It does not take much. All right. And then, we're going to do 1/2 inch here. We need... I'm going to draw a 1/2 inch line here. Apparently with the help of Harley. Oh, no, good. He decided to leave us. Thank you. And get into something else instead. Now, he's going to chew on an Uno card. Okay, so I'm going to draw my 1/2 inch line here. And then... oh, the joy of kittens. And then we're going to draw our line here for 1/2 inch. And the reason I'm going the whole distance is because we're going to cut some of this off. What we want to do is we need a flap. And we need a flap on this side to fold over, and we need a flap on this side to fold over. But what I want to do first is I want to fold this. Yeah, we're going to fold it this way because and then we can fold it the other direction, which is fine. I want to fold this to here. So I have folded this in half. And then what we want to do again, and I only folded it in half to this point because remember this is going to be the flap of the envelope. And now I'm going to fold this up to this line. And this is going to give me an idea of how long I want my flaps to be. Okay. So that's a pretty square envelope, but you know what? There's actually looks pretty square too. So we're just going to go with it. All right. So what we want to do then is with our scissors, we're going to cut along this line to the center right here where where the fold mark is. So there's my fold mark. And then because this is going to be a flap, I'm going to take my scissors. Let's mark this first. Okay. So there's my mark. I'm going to aim my scissors there at a slant. And that's one side of our flap. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to angle from this side to the point right there. Okay. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same thing from this side. And I'm going to angle it right to that point. That takes that out. Okay. So we're going to fold this back the other way because this is the outside of our envelope. All right. So when we're done with this, what we'll do is we'll fold it in half this way. And then we will fold it in half this way. And then this flap will come over and seal it there. And that flap will come over and seal it there. And this will be the front of our envelope. I want to score my flaps. So that'll fold down. And that'll fold in. Next thing I want to do is I want on the outside of our envelope, I want to put our blue and white stripes. So, I'm sorry, our red and blue stripes, not blue and white. So I'm going to fold this up and start over here. And we're just going to put it, we're just going to, actually, hang on a second here. Let's fold all of our flaps in so we can see exactly where we're going to put it. Because we only need it on that part that is going to be the front of our envelope. So right here. All right, so we are going to put this here across the top. I'm going to start right there. I'm going to trim this and do the other two sides off camera, and I will be right back. All right, supervisor is back, making sure that I have done the correct thing, except he's looking the wrong way, so not sure what he's supervising at the moment. Okay, so here's what we have so far. There's what it looks like if it's folded up, and then when we unfold it, it will have the border like that. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to get the postage on there. Thank you for leaving, Harley. I want to get the postage on there. And I have a couple different stamps over here that I was looking at. And there was also... No, Harley. Get down. Sorry for the... Oh, no, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay. Alright, so I was thinking I have these different postage stamps here. This one is too big for sure. So this was a freebie download that I found that I will link below. And then what I did was upload it into Canva and make the colors. I pushed the color down to I think like 50 or 60% transparency, and then put a distress filter over top of it and kind of push that back a little so that it's got a little bit of distress on it and it makes it look a little bit older. So, all right, so let's get this glued down, and then once it's glued down, we will stamp it. And I'm going to need my black ink for that because we can't do that with our vintage photo. That's going to look a little funny. Okay. I can figure out how to do this. It's upside down and I can't figure out what's going on. Okay, so there's our postage stamp. All right, and then we will use my black soot Distress Archival ink. And I don't want it to be super dark, and I want it to be kind of the lines to be broken up a little bit, so I'm just going to kind of wipe some of it off in some spots, and then the back of one of these I'm going to just light stamp, and then do a second generation stamp on this. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this, the cancellation that comes from the city. Yay, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. All right, and it looks like you can't see that very well. I don't know what is going on here, but there's what we have so far with our stamp. I love it, love it, love it. I liked this little priority sticker, so I think I'm going to put that down here in the corner after we ink it up a little bit. All right, so now I think I want to use my scissors to kind of tear this up and give it a little bit more of a vintage grungy vibe, because I want it to kind of look like it's been through the mail. It kind of scrunched and torn because of that. Okay, I don't know what was going on with my camera, but it decided to shut off. So we got, or I got the, my priority part distressed, and I want to put that down here. So we're going to go ahead and stick that there. Now I haven't decided yet whether I want to put like some fake addresses on here or maybe do like a collage or something. Not really quite sure what I want to do with that part yet, so we're going to do some thinking on that. Okay, so for now, this part of our envelope is done. So I'm going to flip it over here, and I have some more strips from the same paper washi tape that I used the stripes on the front from. And so what I was thinking, I cut out this via airmail one, and it fits perfectly on our flaps. So I was thinking of putting those on the flaps. So let's go ahead and get some glue on the flaps. And then we'll put this other piece right there. All right, cute. All right, so now just from taking and using this paper just as an example, because it's the same size as the one that I'm trying to print right now. So if I fold these down, I've got just this area left over here, and I have some more of this scrap, or I have some more of these strips. I really like this strip. Let me see if we can make it work with the express delivery. And if we can't, then I think it will definitely work with the via airmail in this one. So when I trim it, I'm going to trim it so that that part is still included. And if it works with this, then that part will just be underneath and we won't have to worry about it anyway. So I'm going to cut this blue line off here. So what I'm going to do then is cut. I'm going to cut right here. Okay, well, let's check this out and see if it fits. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, that's gonna fit. We're gonna have to cut a little bit off the bottom, but that's okay. Now let's see if it'll work with this piece of paper. And it fits, but it's kind of cutting off part of the blue line right there. And I really want that blue line to show. So I think what I'll do is cut this red line off right here. Let's see how that works. I think, oh, hang on a second, is that going to do it? Actually, I'd kind of like to have some of the cream there. So, all right, let's go ahead and trim it right here. There is a line there right underneath that express delivery, so. Just little strips there. Those are kind of cool. Okay. Let's see, does that give us some of the cream? It does not give us some of the cream. Well, hopefully if that prints out, maybe we can trim it a little bit, because what I'd like is for it to be like this, so that there's some space in between this blue stripe and the because the other piece of paper has this same stripe right here. Yeah, it has that same stripe right here. All right, I'm going to go and mess with my printer and see if I can figure out what's going on, and then I will be right back. All right, yay, it's printing. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to trim these white edges off. Did you see my pretty bracelet? It is, whoops, sorry. It, I think it was called Coral Reef. It's, and I can't remember now, Bands of Courage, I think it is. I don't remember, but I will link it in the description box. It's a really cool company that we found in Australia when we went to a city called Manly. You might have heard of Manly Beach before. They have really good surfing there. For every bracelet that they sell, they plant 10 mangrove trees. Bands of Courage started at home during COVID to pass the time to keep busy. And they accumulated so many bands that when lockdown allowed, they would go to markets and sell the bands. By 2021, there was such a huge demand that they opened up an online store. And then in January 2025, they opened their store in Manly. Every bracelet is themed after a different area or animal. So the colors all kind of have to do with like that animal or the area or whatever. And I really liked this coral reef because not only because it has this pinkish coral color, but also because it represents the area that my family that lives in Australia used to live in. They used to live in Townsville, which is right along where the coral reef is. So I just thought that was kind of cool. My bonus daughter bought 2 of them while we were there. And then we also got one for another family member. So yeah, they're really cool. And I love that it's flat. It's got the, you could get them so that they were stretched, but then it's also got the, so that you can pull it. But the thing I like the most is that it's flat. And like, there's hardly anything to the bracelet. And it just makes it a whole lot, well, hello, Harley. It is a whole lot easier to wear and it doesn't get in the way of stuff. All right, he thinks he needs to play with my bracelet. All right, baby, I'm in nap. Okay, let's see how it works now that we've got the paper printed. Is that gonna fit? Oh, it's just a tiny bit small. Bummer, dude. Okay, well, we can stick another strip of something down here. That's not a problem. And, oh, look at that. Look at that. It looks like we are going to possibly have, well, somewhere I didn't cut straight. Hey. Yes. I love you too, but you can't be up here. Mama's trying to work. Okay, come on, get down. Get down. Thank you, buddy. All right. Do I put that right along the edge? Well, why? Okay. I'm just going to cut a little bit off of each side so that the sides are equal, and then that'll help right there. So I will be right back. Okay, so I cut just a teeny tiny bit. Ooh, I want to keep that. That looks pretty cool. Look at that. We have to be able to use that somewhere, right? All right, so anyway, I cut that much off of both sides. Squirrel. So let's put this up here at the top. I fear that it may be my envelope that is not straight, or my folding, because there's the edge. Okay. All right. Let's see if this works a little bit better now. I think what I'll do though is put this here and trim that because I can get this set to right where I want it to be. Because I'd love for it to be right there, just so that there's that little bit. Well, we've got enough room that we can come out a little bit more now. Yeah, no. All right, so I think what I'll do is I'll do it so it's right at the edge of that red. And then we will just trim the side over here and make that work. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Now we need something down here though. And I think what I'd like to do is use these stars. Just the strip of stars. So let me get the strip of stars cut out. So I'm going to use my glue stick here and fill in the inside of my paper. And then once I've got it down, I will go around and glue the edges with my good glue so that it sticks better. And that gives me a little bit more of a chance to move stuff around since I'm having so much trouble anyway. And allows me to slip my strips underneath that I want to put on there. It is a little bit wetter though, so it's hardly. It is a little bit wetter, so it's going to be kind of lumpy, bumpy, curly for a little bit until it dries itself out. I'm using brayer here. I like to use a brayer after I've used wet glue on a paper for a couple reasons. One, it creates better contact between the two papers. It helps to remove any air bubbles that might be there, and it also helps to reduce some of that waviness as a result of the glue being wet on the paper. I think we got most of the waviness out and got fairly good contact there, so hopefully once I put this under something, it'll flatten itself out and it won't look horrible. Okay, so what I want to do now is put this strip under, and I want to have, looks like I glued over too far, so let me lift this just a little. Okay. I'm going to trim this so we don't have a lot of overlap under there. Okay, I should be able to put this at the edge and have it fit now. Perfection, it does. Okay, let's get some glue up under this edge, but before I glue the bottom down, I need to trim those stars off. Okay, so that's glued down. Our stars are glued down, so the last thing we need to put down is this. And I'm just going to run some glue along the edge. Okay, I've got everything glued on there, and so the last thing that I need to do before I decide if I want to do anything on the other side is I want to score, because I've added more paper. This is thin paper. This unfortunately was printed on a cardstock. So I need to score on these fold lines out here. Okay, that folds over, but wait, why is it not lining up? So that's going to close up around there. That's going to close around there. Now, if I want it to stay closed in a, like if I wanted to put this in a pocket, I could, let's see, if we glue it, it would be glued on this part here. So that would be glued. It would open this way, open this way, and then we would have our journaling space. You can still journal right here. Don't like that idea though. So I think it's something that needs to go into a pocket. All right, so one pointer I have is that when you're doing this, make sure that you are using paper that is thin paper, not cardstock, because this cardstock I think is what's giving me some of my problems. Also, measure better than me. But yeah, I think the main thing is making sure that that you use thinner paper. And if I would have thought about it, I probably could have peeled it down a little bit, but that's not always easy to do. Because this is folding okay. It's just, I think, out here and down here where the cardstock is that is giving me a little bit of difficulty. So this is going to go this way. This is going to fold up this way. This folds over. So I need something to keep this folded down. And I also need something to keep this folded down. Yeah, I definitely not use cardstock because it's really thick right here because of the 2 layers of cardstock here and then the cardstock up at the top. And it's making it so that it's very thick and it doesn't want to fold right. On top of the fact that I think there's also an extra layer of paper right there too for some reason. I think it's from like a thicker part of the envelope or something. So, okay, so that'll fold down there. That'll fold there. We need something to hold it down. What if we took part of this and made it like a tuck? Little tuck, so add some glue there on the bottom and then tuck it in there. And you could do that there and here. Okay, let's do that. First of all, let's fix this so that it's a straight edge. I don't trust myself. So I'm going to line that corner up with this corner and fold this in half because I wanted to use half of it anyway. So let's fold it in half. And then we can use this end that is technically straight, I'm assuming, and cut that, and then we can cut this in half. Okay. Okay, so what I'm thinking is this will be on there. And if we put this strip here and then glue down here along the bottom edge, then that should hold that down, right? In theory, right? Right. Okay. Now, what I think I need to do is get this set where I want it to be set, and then we'll hold it on with one of these little clippies so that I can get the glue in the spot where I want it to be without gluing everything else down at the same time. Okay, I think I've got it centered. Yeah. And I think it's up far enough to hold the envelope. Is it straight? Straight-ish, straight-ish. Straight-ish works for me. Okay. I put little flaps here to try, or like a little slot here to try and hold the flaps down, but that is not working. So what I'm going to do now is I have torn up some papers and found some other stuff that I think will work. And I'm going to just do a collage here. And then what I'll do is I will use some string and tie some string around the envelope to make it look kind of like a package, I guess. And then it can go into a pocket. I still have not decided what I want to do with this here. Although I just had a thought, what if I just stamped the word to with a colon? The nice thing about a collage is, oh hey, we can hide a mistake. I'll just put a collage there. But now it looks a little empty in this area. Well, hello, Harley. Goodbye, Harley. Let's see if cancellation marks from the post office might work. Yeah, let's do that. That might solve my problem. Oh. Not my actual problem, but like the problem I was having with this. There's no helping the other problems, Pamela. No helping them other ones. Okay. All right, how's that? I think that worked. I feel more balanced down here. Should I do another stamp up here? I have some other stamps that are postage type stamps. I have another Sydney stamp that is square. I almost kind of feel like that just cluttered it up more and didn't really do what I was trying to do. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it like this for now. But please do tell me down in the comments if you think that something else needs to be right here. Well, let's do this. There we go. What about that? Actually, I think we're okay. What do you think? Are we okay? There we go. I think we're okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. All right, let's get... Excuse me, sorry for the throat clearing. All right, so this will be the journaling space. And then all I need to do... Oh, I wanted to stamp the word to. I don't think... Well, hello, Harley. I do not think I have any stamps that say to, but I do have... But I do have some just regular stamps. That and I have some lines. Oh, but they're not clear. Oogie boogie. I thought the lines for this would be perfect, and I could just ink up some of the lines in there, but they're not clear, and I am not even going to attempt that. So let me look at some of my other stamps. All right, so I could do, sorry, upside down. I could do this one with the longer row, or I could do this one and only ink the lines up to there. But for some reason I feel like what they used was the dotted line. All right, and there it is, all done. I inked it up. The string I used is just some plain string. I believe I got this at Dollar Tree. If I didn't get this specific one at Dollar Tree, I know that they have some just like this. And for some reason, that just looks like string that would be used by the post office. Don't ask me why. In my head, that's what it is. So let me untie this and I will show you the inside. So there is the front. And if we flip it over and turn it around, there is the back. And then once we open it up, I've decided I wanted to leave this blank because that could be some more space to write on. And then there's the space to write on here, and it's all inked up on the inside as well. And that's our faux airmail envelope. It's perfect for a journaling spot that you can tuck into a pocket or a little tuck spot, or just add a bit of vintage flair to your pages. Let me know in the comments how you would use this little postal imposter. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a video. And as always, may your scraps be endless and your glue never dry. See you in the next one. Oh, psst. If you're still here, you're my kind of people. Starting next week, I'm kicking off a brand new video rhythm with Make It Monday, Waste Not Wednesday, and Finish It Friday. First up, a Xerox transfer technique you won't want to miss. See you Monday for the crafty kickoff. Bye.